It's iHeartRadio.
Heart Radio.
iHeartRadio makes you want to move. When you have a great melody, song
Instantly connected.
I love it when the beat goes.
Did you know you can listen to Truth Frequency Radio on iHeartRadio? Just download the app to your smartphone or smart TV and get the best of TFR wherever you are.
See you there.
So you love talk radio, then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, will join us in this our sit-down television interviews leading the way out. That's a good thing and a bad thing. I get along well with Chief Juggler. That's a good thing and a bad thing. It's been pretty wild, really thinking about it. During the campaign in 2016, I'd be asking you, have anything to do with Russia? Say no, I'm not playing something else. What do you know about Russia? I can tell you nothing. I got along well with President Xi until the COVID came in. It's a good thing, house. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. We got along well with Xi Jungle. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. It's been pretty wild. You didn't think you get impeached for doing nothing wrong. You get a second impeachment for doing nothing wrong. I had a great life, great company, great business, and now all I do is fighting off investigations. I got along great with President. I liked him, he liked me. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. I got along well with Chief Juggler. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. It's been pretty wild, really thinking about it. It was a good thing, great thing. As far as North Korea is concerned, I have a great relationship with I like him, he likes me. You take a look at Kim Jong-un and the relationship that I developed. That's a good thing. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. I got along well with Putin, Kim Jong-un. That's a good thing, not a
You are not moved into the truth frequency.
Woo-wee. All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Friday edition of the Paranormal Portal. We're all thrilled to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, it's an incredible pleasure. And I appreciate you guys being here. The Minion and I just did a t-shirt giveaway for our Discord, and tonight for our YouTube audience, YouTube members, and it'll expand over time, but for now, just the YouTube members. We're gonna do another t-shirt giveaway tonight. So, of course, we're waiting on Sheldon to be here. Hi, Mom. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see all you guys. Thank you so much for coming in. Did you have a good time at the hockey game, Mom? I showed everybody your picture. You were hanging out with the mascot of the Wild. Is that the Wild? Yeah, I think it's Wild. Yeah, I kind of out of touch. So, but yeah, it looked like it was a nice time. We're going to do a t-shirt giveaway tonight for the members of a YouTube channel. So one of you lucky members out there, you could be leaving tonight with a brand new t-shirt that'll be eventually delivered to your home. And very exciting stuff. But in order to bring y'all up to speed, let me do this. Let me see if I can do this. Hold on. I got to figure out if I can make it bigger. Yes, I can. Yes, I can, because I want to showcase this right now, ladies and gentlemen. The giveaway from tonight's Discord. How the hell do you play it? Play. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Okay, that's as much dancing as I do. It's time for the Discord t-shirt giveaway for all the people that signed up. The Minion is here joining me. Say hi, Minion.
Hi.
Say it again, Minion.
Hi.
Okay, good. We are going to draw the winner right now. We got a hat full of the names that are in here. This is the hat provided by Sasquatch Chronicles. Thank you, Mr. West. Appreciate it, brother. And we got all the names on little pieces of paper in here because we're pretty low tech here in the studio. We'll do another giveaway later using much more technological means. But I've got all the names written down on these little slips of paper inside of the hat, as you can see, and been stirring them up, mix them up. All right, Minion, you're going to draw the winner and announce it. Good luck to everybody. I'd love to give you all shirts if I could, but tonight just one person. So let's see who the lucky winner is. Can you put your hand in there and give it a stir, sir? There you go. Mix them up. That's right. That's like Christmas cookie dough. All right. All right. Do you feel lucky? Okay. Take your hand out. Take your hand out. Okay. Now I'm going to close it up just so you can reach your hand in there and don't look. You got to do it blind. You got to look up at the ceiling. Okay. Can't have any personal impediment to your objective choice. Okay. Ready? Here we go. Pull a name, sir. Just one name. Pinch it off. Make sure you only got one. Okay, good. And bring your head down. And can you read into the microphone who our lucky winner is?
Pineapple Tango.
Pineapple Tango. Congratulations. You are the brand new t-shirt Discord giveaway winner. Congratulations. Thrilled that you won. And thank you to everybody for participating. Again, we'll do another one next month, but we'll keep it going. Until then, we've got to get ready for a live show, so got to go. Oh, how do I stop? There you go, folks. Pretty low tech, but all the same, congratulations, Pineapple Tango. You did, I mean, it's pretty great. That's pretty cool. All right, so that's one t-shirt tonight. And we'll do another one later in the show. Of course, Sheldon will be joining me soon. And I don't know. He's running a little bit late because his work life collided with the portal life. So until he gets here, we'll just keep pushing the ship forward as normal. And we're going to get to the news eventually here in just a couple moments. And I'm not sure what we're going to do right on the other side there. I got a few options. But we're going to get into some other weirdness and wonder, and then we'll dive into some cryptids and other strangeness. There's a kind of a real cornucopia of paranormal articles I have pulled up for the last segment of the show. So it's not all just creatures, but they are creatures, but I don't know I don't know if they qualify as cryptids or not, but you'll see what I'm talking about when we get there. So, but anyway, I guess. As long as we're underway here, we can start with the news. So without further delay, let's get to the news and see what the news is tonight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Paranormal Portal news. Thank you, Rachel. I did forget, didn't I? Let me fix that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Paranormal Portal news is now underway. And I should put myself on the screen. And the Ghost Radar is now underway as well. So we'll keep monitoring for any potential visitations by otherworldly presences of which we aren't already aware, and see if someone might just be stopping in. And if you're new to the show, the little green box over here, I'm going to put my mouse over it so it moves on your screen. This is an old ghost detector that I had. I've had it for about 15 years, maybe 12 years, something like that. But It's a good detector, and it's always done real well. It also has a word database, which surprisingly enough sometimes spits out something relevant, but it is supposed to use the magnetometer built into the wireless apparatus and detect any ambient or anomalous EMF signatures that might be running around. So we'll just keep an eye on it. Is it for sure paranormal? No, it's certainly not. So if the ghost detector goes off, it doesn't necessarily mean I'm being visited by spiritual presences. But then again, it might mean that. So we just don't know enough about it, but it's just been kind of interesting to watch it and see what's happening. And sometimes it correlates with other events, like when I have the other equipment set up and we're watching that. So it's been really kind of cool when several modalities go off and indicate a presence. That to me is very powerful. So the idea with that is that we just have it on, and we'll just, if it goes off, it goes off. We'll see what it says. If it spits out a word, maybe it'll be relevant, maybe it won't. But it's just been kind of a passive thing we've been doing on the show here for quite a while. And it's sometimes been really interesting, surprisingly interesting, because I really wasn't a huge fan of these kind of things for a long time. But I've since come to realize that they're detecting something, but it may not necessarily be paranormal, but it is something. So let's get to the news. Sorry, I'm still froggy. Jesus. I don't know what to do. Mom, I'm doing Mucinex too. Yes, I am doing Mucinex, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm like a toad guy or something. This is horrible. Like, I just need something to dry me the hell out. Grimy. Ugh. I'm so sick of my own mucus. I'm sorry, this isn't the piss and moan hour, so I'll get on with it. Welcome to the Paranormal Portal News, and this is our segment for the news as I see fit to report it to you. And hopefully you agree that there's something of interest in all of this stuff. And this one, I don't know. It's kind of seems kind of obvious, but it's kind of interesting that he decided to put his name on this and put it out there, because maybe that's his plan for us all along. He and his fellow overlords. I really don't know if that's the case, but I think it's funny. What am I talking about? Well, I am talking about Mr. Jeff Bezos is in the news. Right off the bat, from unexplained-mysteries.com. Again, please support this site. It's an amazing site. Give them your love. Go over there and visit. Help feed their families, because every visit basically equates to money. So any of the sites we use on the show, please support them. Please help them out and help bring them traffic. And you can do that by going over there and read stuff on your own. And I know you're going to find stuff you're going to be into. You're going to like it. And if not, then you just have real particular taste. But anyway, the first article tonight is from unexplained-mysteries.com. And this is an article from Space and Astronomy. Once again, Jeff Bezos. Trillions of humans could one day live in giant space stations. Can you imagine how big would a space station have to be? I don't know how many space stations he's talking about, if he's talking about a few or one or several. I don't know, but he says trillions of humans. Right now on the planet, we've got like right around 7 point something or 8 billion people. So how big are these space stations going to be? And what are they going to be made of? Anyway, that's I just think of like New York and other really, really populated cities around the world. And they are certainly they're incredible cultural bastions and places of art and culture and knowledge and all of that. But they're also places of like the sphincter of humanity in a lot of cases. And I couldn't imagine what it would be like. So you're sitting in this shell of something in the arms of space. You can't go anywhere. It's not like you like, screw this life, man. Let's move to the country. We're done. You're stuck. You're on a space station. You're not going anywhere. So you better fix your problems. But anyway, let's see what it says. Jeff Bezos, trillions of humans could one day live in giant space stations. That's true. They could. The billionaire entrepreneur and founder of Blue Origin envisages a future in which most people will live in outer space. Oh, I bet you'd like that, wouldn't you, Bezos? Most people, he says. That's kind of you expect a wicked laughter after that, don't you? Like we expect most people most people will live in space. It's like, well, you live where exactly? Where are you living, Jeff? I'm curious. Are you on this voyage too, or are you going to keep an eye on the home front for us? That's just horrible. I don't think that plays well for me personally. It sounds like, yeah, get the hell out. You and all your baby makers, get the hell out. We'll keep an eye on the pristine natural wonders of the earth. Anyway, with the Earth's population, oh, okay, there's the answer. Now at 8 billion people and growing, it stands to reason that sooner or later we're going to outstrip our planet's capacities to support us. When that happens, colonizing space is going to be critical to both the long-term survival and continued expansion of our civilization. During a recent interview with podcaster Lex Friedman, Jeff Bezos, the billionaire, it's like, what is this, Gilligan's Island? You got to keep putting the billionaire at the end of that? Founder of Blue Origin and former CEO of Amazon, expressed his views on what such a future might look like. Interestingly, he didn't seem to think that colonizing other worlds was the answer. Instead, he favored the idea of humans living in gigantic cylindrical space stations. And I would love to see 1 trillion humans living in the solar system, he said. If we had a trillion humans, we would have, at any given time, 1,000 Mozarts, 1,000 Einsteins. The only way to get to that vision is with giant space stations. Really? That's the only way. Because he's the boss, I guess. The planetary surfaces are just way too small. Okay. Bezos also believes that in the future, the Earth might become something of a holiday destination to, oh, here you go. This is where his job is. He's going to build theme parks and stuff for us so we can come back and visit. A destination to which visitors would travel in a similar way to how people visit Yellowstone National Park. His views are in stark contrast to those of rival Elon Musk, who has firmly set his sights on colonizing other planets while Mars remaining the focus of his long-term ambitions. Who knows? Perhaps one day they'll both be proven right. Yeah, I mean, do you realize what that says? That to me is horrifying. And how does he elect himself? Like, well, I'm rich, so I should be in charge. I'll be here. You guys can come visit. You can earn points and come see the dirt again once in a while. Yeah, I don't know. I can't exactly, Elaine. Elaine says, "Heck, we can't get along down here. Can you imagine being cooped up in space?" Yeah, I can imagine a few airlock problems. Hey, why is Phil out there? Yeah, he's an airlock failure. I don't know what happened to Phil. Yeah, exactly. But these people elect themselves to be the arbiters of future vision and stuff. It's like, you just kind of got, maybe there was some talent involved, but a lot of these people didn't create much. They just landed on the right dice rolls. I mean, really, there's a bit of chance. There is talent, and there is talent and tenacity in becoming successful. I will say that, but there's also a hell of a lot of luck too, and because his vision just ended up becoming what is Amazon, and well, I don't know what the hell he's doing now, because apparently he's a former CEO of Amazon. So I don't know. I guess he's sitting around planning our futures now because his time is much too valuable. So, but they have this vision for all of us mules, and that stuff, that freaks me out. That's creepy. I don't know. You guys will have to let me know what you think. 8 years can change a lot on Earth. Can. I'll tell you what. Noticed a lot of 8 years of change on this body. Oof. All right, so there you go. I think I really do find this article incredibly disturbing. Not that I'm opposed to us reaching out and touching the stars, looking out for new horizons, new knowledge, new exploration and information. That's wonderful, but I don't like the hubris of these pigs deciding where all the people going to go while they sit in their castles and plot our lives and our descendants' lives. That's, to me, is disturbing as hell. I didn't elect Jeff Bezos to be in charge of anything. I elected him to give me Prime 2-day shipping. That was it. So I don't know what the hell he's doing trying to plot the course of humanity, him or Bill Gates or anybody. These are not, spokespeople for the populace at large. These are people that had a decent business and they were successful at it. Good job. Now go away. But anyway, that's me. I might be reading a hell of a lot more into it than is there, but it is disturbing. It's like, who the hell are these people? My God. The arrogance, the sheer arrogance of those statements. All right, that's just the first article. I think I'd pulled up maybe some more happy stuff after this. I sure hope so. Let's see what else I pulled up, because that one absolutely pisses me off. All right, here's the next one, and this is, again, on unexplained-mysteries.com. It says the analysis of last known Salish wool dog confirms its pre-colonial lineage. Now, I don't know what this means. Is this dog like there's no more of them or what? I'm not sure. So, but this is a picture of what it looks like, and it's that looks fake to me. This must be some mannequinized dog here. This isn't a real thing. It says these dogs were once bred for their hair. For thousands of years, the indigenous coast Salish people bred special dogs that had thick, long white hair. Dogs have been in the Americas for more than 10,000 years, and they were already domesticated when they came from Eurasia with the first people to reach North America. In the coastal parts of present-day Washington state and southwestern British Columbia, archaeologists have found dog remains dating back as far as 5,000 years. Dogs perform many different roles in North American indigenous communities, including transportation, that in other parts of the world were done by multiple other domesticated animals. Prior to the arrival of the Europeans, the indigenous coast Salish peoples of the Pacific Northwest had traditionally maintained a breed of long-haired dog for the purpose of harvesting their hair or wool for textile fibers. Along with alpacas and llamas, these woolly dogs are one of the few known animals intentionally bred for their fleece in all of the Americas. But the practice of keeping woolly dogs and weaving textiles made from woolly dog yarn declined through the 19th century, and the dogs were considered extinct by the beginning of the 20th century. What happened to them? Today, the only confirmed woolly dog specimen is Mutton. They named it Mutton, whose pelt has been housed in the Smithsonian collection since his death in 1859. In life, this Indian dog was the companion of George Gibbs, a naturalist working on the Northwest Boundary Survey expedition to map out British Columbia and the American Pacific Northwest. In death, Mutton offered the opportunity to learn more about woolly dog ancestry, selection, and management. That's interesting. This is a really long article, though, so I won't be able to continue reading it, but it's very interesting. I'd never heard of, I don't know, maybe it's just me, and I don't pretend to know a lot about dogs and breedings and such, but has there ever been another dog that was used for its fur? I mean, obviously, there's things like fox and mink and things like that are maybe dog-like, I guess more weasel-like in some of those, but I'll put a link into the chats. You guys can check it out if you want to read the whole story about that, but that's pretty interesting. I didn't know that they would, there was a dog breed that was used just for its hair, or maybe along with the other duties, its hair as well. That's actually kind of cool. That's really neat. It's incredible how much our ancient ancestors knew, and this is First Nations ancient ancestors. And they really, I mean, they were right along with it. Oftentimes we accredit the breedings and the shaping of breeds to the Europes and the African communities and such, even Asiatic communities. But I've never heard of the breeding that was done selectively to create breeds by the indigenous First Nations peoples of the Americas. I think that's awesome. Very cool. Awesome stuff. So again, it's the Salish wool dog. Huh. And I don't know, maybe they could clone him, bring him back. I don't know. They bring him back everything else. We can have mammoths and wool dogs and just let's recreate things. Let's get a Jurassic Park cooking here. I don't know. Very interesting stuff. At any rate. All right, next article up tonight on the news. And this one's kind of interesting. It has to do with ghosts. And which is fitting for the show. But this one is, I'm not sure who the comedian is, but let's see. All right, here it is. It's from unexplained-mysteries.com. And the article is, comedian forced to move house after a spate of paranormal experiences. And I don't think there's a video or anything on this, but well, let's read through it. It says, Daisy Mae Cooper recently spoke about her experiences with the unexplained on the BBC's Uncanny podcast. Prior to moving in, the 37-year-old British comedian and actor had always wanted to see a ghost. But when strange things started happening to her, it didn't take long for that sentiment to evaporate. The house, which was situated in the countryside, had seemed idyllic, and for a while, nothing unusual happened. When her friend Sarah came to stay one day, however, things took a rather sinister turn. She told me in the morning that she had heard what sounded like somebody breaking into the house, said Cooper. She was so frightened she phoned her boyfriend. Before long, other guests who had slept in the same room began reporting everything from disembodied voices in the dead of night to sightings of shadow figures lurking in the darkness. Then strange things began happening elsewhere in the house, like paintings that had been hanging up on the wall mysteriously ended up in the wrong locations for no rhyme or reason. It's not like they just fall off. It's like somebody is taking them off and placed them in different places, said Cooper. As time went on, other phenomena began to occur, such as the shower turning on by itself full blast. In the middle of the night, the sound of mysterious footsteps going up the stairs when nobody else was home, and the sighting of a strange man walking past the window. Despite all of these occurrences, it was what happened one night while she was watching TV with her son that would stick with her forever. I can't remember what happened first, whether it was the sound or the security light that comes on by my landing, but the sound is actually the thing that scares me the most, she recalled. It was the sound of feet running on wooden floor and what I can only describe as a pair of children's legs, a 7 or 8-year-old, and it had these white shorts on. And these legs ran around the bed, and me and my son both tracked it for a number of seconds. And then it was just gone. It completely vanished. It was the most extraordinary thing I've ever seen. Yikes. That's really cool. I'd love to hear that interview. I'd only have seen reference to it here, but I've never listened to the Uncanny podcast. But sounds like it'd be a great interview. And so if you get a chance, check out the Uncanny podcast or, see what you think. I think it sounds like a really good experience. Not maybe terrifying, maybe horrifying, maybe more relaxed. I don't know, but good all the same. At least I think so. At least I think so. All right, and I don't know what I got left here. I think I got one more left. Oh, yeah, this one. Whoops. Stop. Ugh. Damn embedded heads. Damn embedded heads. They're great for websites to create revenue, but they are bad for shows trying to read articles. All right, here we go. Last article up for tonight on the news, ladies and gentlemen, is this one from unexplained-mysteries.com. And this one has to do with Neanderthals, which may be kind of interesting. And we'll see what you think. Here it is, paleontology. Oh, God, I didn't look at how long this was. No, it's okay, good. All right. Oh, stop it. Stop it. Oh, I'm going to get copyrighted just from their music. Neanderthal genes could explain why some people are the early birds. Are you one of those early birds, folks? Any of you out there? Are you the early bird, like to get up and just get at it? Because I'm not. I'm absolutely not that bird. I'm the late, fat and lazy bird. I'm the one keeping the nest warm. No, I'm just a really slow riser in the morning. It's like I'm very lethargic for quite a while when I do get up for good. But it says Neanderthal genes could explain why. If you're one of those early birds, you could be dealing with some Neanderthal. Interbreeding between modern humans and Neanderthals could account for why some of us are predisposed to be early birds. Does the idea of getting up very early in the morning fill you with the dread and despair? Ever wondering how some people seem to be full of energy the second their head leaves the pillow? According to a new study, our Neanderthal ancestors might have possessed a gene that made them predisposed to getting up early and then pass this along to modern humans through interbreeding. I'm not. I mean, they say interbreeding, but I don't think it was always voluntary. To be honest with you, I don't think it was like, oh, I think I love Grognak. I think we're in love, Dad. I'm going to marry him. I don't think it was like that. I think it was not so beautiful, because it sounds much more romantic when you say interbreeding, but I don't think it was by choice. Unfortunately, it sounds like it might have been very terrifying. So where was I? Here we go. Both species lived alongside one another for thousands of years, with the Neanderthals only disappearing relatively recently, around 40,000 years ago. I didn't know it was that recent, actually. Today, it is thought that up to 4% of our genome came from the Neanderthals. When the ancestor to modern Eurasians migrated out of Africa and interbred with Eurasic archaic hominins, namely Neanderthals and Denisovans, DNA of archaic ancestry integrated into the genomes of anatomically modern humans, the study authors wrote. This process potentially accelerated adaptation to Eurasian environmental factors, including reduced ultraviolet radiation and increased variation in seasonal dynamics. The researchers believe that the tendency for Neanderthals to live at higher altitudes resulted in a change to their internal body clock or circadian rhythm that saw them rise early in the morning. By combining ancient DNA, large-scale genetic studies in modern humans, and artificial intelligence, we discovered substantial genetic differences in the circadian systems for Neanderthals and modern humans, said lead study author John Capra, from the University of California, San Francisco. Then, by analyzing the bits of Neanderthal DNA that remain in modern human genomes, we discovered a striking trend. Many of them have effects on the controls of circadian genes in modern humans, and these effects are predominantly in a consistent direction of increased propensity to be a morning person. There you go. Don't need the coffee. You can just, get some Neanderthal genome. Let's do some gene splicing. I don't know much about the Neanderthals, but I think largely that, from what I understand, the relationship between early humans, Homo sapiens, and Neanderthals was not really peaceful. It sounds like Neanderthals were maybe aggressive, maybe it was the people that were aggressive, or both, but they were constantly vying for the territories, I think. Interestingly enough, there's a talk out online, and I don't know, I found it absolutely brilliant, actually. And it was by a guy, and I've said it before, and it's by a gentleman who's passed away now. But his name is Lloyd Pye. Lloyd, and then P-Y-E is his last name. And it's called Everything You Know Is Wrong. And he also had something to do with the Star Child genome project that was on being investigated years ago, and he's no longer with us, but he brought up some really cool possible facts about this stuff, about these early situation between humans and the Neanderthals or Denisovans or any other pre-humans that are out there, and how they vied and battled for the good land, and how basically it seems like we won. So that's what caused these other races of pre-humans to go to the higher altitudes and stuff, because basically we won the good ground, is what it sounds like. And so it pushed all these other groups more to the fringes and into the rough areas. And maybe that's part of the downfall of some of the early pre-humans, is that they just couldn't scratch out a living in such disparate conditions. But he did say that there's, the one thing I found very interesting, and it kind of gets into the whole Anunnaki part of it, with the possibility that human beings were genetically manufactured by the Anunnaki to, go mine gold or whatever, and to do their bidding. But he said that, the problem with the problem with us finding a human lineage from the beginning is this whole missing link thing. And he said the problem isn't that we're missing a link. It's the problem is that this isn't our lineage. And he does state that there is no missing link, because the Bigfoot that still exists today, these are probably their ancestors. The Neanderthals, the Denisovans, and these other groups. These are the ones that remain. And so we're looking at their ancestry, not ours. Ours was potentially created. And I again, I don't pretend to know a lot about that whole idea, but I thought it was interesting because there is some issues with the human genome that is very mysterious. And he talks about some of that in his talk as well, dealing with this weird splice that happened. I think it's the 38th chromosome or something like that, and how it doesn't make sense that happened naturally, and many, many more things like that. And so I think it's worth a listen if you're into checking out other ideas. And I'm not saying he's right. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying it's a very interesting take. And maybe he's part right. Maybe he's right about some of what he says and not others. I mean, I don't know. But I do advocate finding as much information as you can, because I don't think there's any one wellspring of knowledge in this world. I think you can find pieces and parts, kind of like, and maybe that's a reckless idea, is to adapt pieces of knowledge to yourself. But I don't know. It just seems to work for me so far anyway. But yeah, interesting stuff. So if you're an early bird, you might be, because you're part Neanderthal. But I think there's a lot of Neanderthal DNA, not a lot, but just in European DNA, there's quite a bit of Neanderthal, is what I understand. I didn't know they lived till just up to about 40,000 years ago. I find that very interesting. Okay, well, let's call this the news then, ladies and gentlemen, because this has been a presentation of the Paranormal Portal News. I hope you feel like you've been all newsed. You're all newsed up and ready to face the world. So let's get back to the rest of the show here, and we'll figure out what's coming next, because, hell, I don't even know sometimes. All right, let's get back to the show. I was just reading what Batman was writing there, and I will read it again. Batman wrote in the chat, he said, I think Sasquatch were probably the original natives. Also, read The Naked Ape, for example. When was it an evolutionary advantage for us to lose our fur and have to clothe ourselves? Yeah, exactly. And that's something I think about a lot, too. It's like, if you look at every other biological specimen of this world. They are born with the tools and the propensities to develop tools to survive. But human beings are born absolutely helpless. We have absolutely no natural recourse as an infant. Like if you granted there's some things when they're just born, they can't do much either. Like those little baby mice and stuff. It's like they come out and they're just like little balls of pink, I think they call them pinkies or something like that. But they're absolutely helpless, and everything is for a period of time. But human beings remain absolutely helpless for an extended period of time. I mean, there's so many things that are born and will get up and start walking around in an hour. Well, your kid's doing great if you get them walking within a year. It's such a range of difference. So I don't know, what do you think? But I think we may not be from here. We don't seem to be like we're from here. We're born naked. We have to always accommodate our own protection and our own comfort through artificial means, whether it's clothing as an artificial mean, whether it's houses with heaters and coolers and fans and, all these things. But, we aren't very well tooled in our natural state for this world. So I don't know. It could be an oversimplification of a huge magnitude, and I don't pretend to speak in any kind of authority about these things, but I do find it at least interesting. Every other animals and including the primates are built with tools, and they can survive at least for a period of time on their own, whereas human beings are absolutely baskets of tissue for a long time. I'm not speaking of the whole, is it a life, that kind of thing, because I believe that there's a consciousness in all things. So I'm not speaking to that. I'm just speaking about the fact that we are helpless. We're helpless. We're slow swimmers. We're slow runners. We're slow. We're very clumsy. We're not graceful. We have very little outside of opposable thumbs to give us any kind of physical advantage in a lot of situations. But crazy stuff. I think Sasquatch are probably the original natives. Yeah, I read that. I heard 200,000 of humans. Well, I don't know what you're talking about, Joseph. Sorry, my chat got stuck, so I'm trying to scroll back up. To image because of war, natural disasters, leaving from one country to another. If only we could have ancestor stories from hundreds of generations. Yeah, well, I think if you want ancestor stories from at least a lot of generations, you got to talk to the Mormon Church, because they are exceptional. They have done an exceptional job cataloging lineages all over the world. I mean, it's amazing the body of work that they have. And if you can befriend somebody in the Mormon Church, or if you're Mormon yourself, you already know this. But yeah, it's pretty incredible. I think I have 6% of their DNA. Don't remember. Need to find the chart. Oh, RJ. Wow. 6%. Sasquatch is probably what humans were meant to be without technology. Yeah, I've wondered that. I mean, that could be us. Maybe that's why when they see us, they don't go out of their way to hurt us, because they can sense part of themselves in us. Maybe, if that's the case, right? I believe we were created in God's image, and that's why everything wants a piece of us. We are special. Good point. Yeah, I mean, there's the other side of it. That's, if we were made in the image of God and whatever that means, then maybe there is a jealousy and there is a, I don't know how to phrase it, but yeah, I can see where that could also possibly be a liability in maybe to other forms of life that aren't. But I think phrases like that are really oversimplifications, because I think, well, it doesn't matter what I think. I think everybody has a valid opinion, is what I think. The show has evolved. You're about to push through. I hope so, Joseph. I sure hope so, brother. We're trying. We have one common ancestor. His name is what? His name is Dick. What? You're on the radar. Oh, very cool, Joseph. I don't know what you mean for sure, but I hope so. Someone asked if Santa Claus was real, May I introduce Brent Thomas, everyone. He's our own personal Santa. Aw. Yeah, but this Santa only can give away one t-shirt a month. So I need more elves. I got a hairball there. Sorry about that. Had to mute and just hack it up. I love that music. How cool. All right, I'm just looking. Naked Ape was written by Desmond Morris. He also wrote Cat Watching. I just looked. He's 95 years young. Wow. That sounds like a great mind. Am I missing anything else? Is Brent volume low or just me? I don't know. Are you guys hearing me okay? The volume should be the same as they're always, because I don't really touch my board fading my lines. I don't use the faders much. They've been the same. But let me know if there is an issue. It shouldn't be, though. Looks like it's metering about the same as always on my end. So let me know if there's any volume issues, please. Cons. All right. I think I'm about caught up here. Brent is 100% correct. I go back to where I'm either a peasant or a king of Germany, like 8 to 10 generations per the Mormon genealogy. Wow, very cool. Very cool. That's awesome. Very cool. I think it's really neat to be able to follow our lineages back that far. I think that's amazing. And just to think that you are, all of us sitting here, and this is kind of a weird spider web, but just bear with me, that every one of us sitting here we are the, what's the word I want to use? We are the ones that made it. Like our lineages, we represent lineages that fought through the deepest, darkest hells of disease, of war, of famines, of droughts, and any other number of things that can challenge an ability for a civilization to survive. We are the ancestors. We are the offspring of those incredibly profoundly robust people that fought through all of that. I mean, the rest of them didn't make it. And I think that makes me feel like I feel, when I think about that, it kind of reminds me that, we're lucky to be here, because there's a lot of family lines that didn't make it. They didn't make those cullings and those hardships that have wiped out, complete segments of the population in the past. We managed to come all the way through that and are here today. And I think that's incredibly profound. Maybe I got the microphone too far away. Sorry. Maybe that's what it is. I apologize, John, if I'm hard to hear. But yeah, I think that it's pretty humbling to think about it that way. Like, God. Like we're the survivors. We're the ones that made it. And I think that's pretty cool. That's just me, though. Turn up more mic because my hearing's gotten worse. Constant white noise going on. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Karen. I got some of that ringing stuff going on, too. Brent, been on the frontier of the paranormal. You will reveal it when you... Brent, been on the frontier of the paranormal. You will reveal it when you L-E. You have to finish that, Joseph. I don't know what you're going to say there. I'm trying, though. I mean, the thing with all this stuff is we just don't know. We just don't know, but we can have discussions about all of it. And maybe collectively we can put together some great ideas about what we don't know. All right, so let's see where we at. I got to pull up the other thing I was going to do. Okay. I think this would be kind of a fun one. This is kind of a fun article from Thought Catalog that I wanted to get into on the show here. Again, I really like Thought Catalog. I have for many years visited this site and found incredible articles dealing with the paranormal. And I mean, the beautiful thing about Thought Catalog is whatever you're interested, you can find threads and lists that will be right up your alley. So, but this is one that I found recently, which I thought, oh God, this would be fun to discuss. But these are kind of like near-death experiences. And since we're talking about being alive, it's like, well, that's kind of fitting. because we are alive. And this is what people who were unalived and came back saw. So this is an article from Thought Catalog from Eric Redding on November 22nd, 2016. And it's 26 men and women who died and came back to life share exactly what they saw on the other side. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I love near-death experiences. I think to me they are probably some of the most profound evidence that life continues. When people are clinically dead, and I know there's a lot of detractors. There's a lot of people that challenge this and say, oh, no, it's just a DMT rush producing hallucinations upon the shutting down of the systems. I don't agree. I think that certainly some of the experience may be, maybe the tunnel thing might be. I don't know, though. I'm going to switch to a soda here. Sorry. Try to break some of this crap up. But these stories, I think, are the most profound examples of consciousness surviving the body death and bringing back information, bringing back stories. And I think maybe these are meant to be comforting examples for us, because I think one of the greatest fears of any mortal race is, at least an intelligent mortal race is, what is it like to die? It seems kind of scary. You go through this gateway and then it's just done. It seems like it's done. There's just a shell that remains. Now, certainly faith and certainly spirituality are powerful and will help, guide the person through that experience and so forth. But I think that these examples of people that did actually die and come back are so incredibly powerful. And so let's visit a few of these right now. Again, this is Thought Catalog. I don't know when Sheldon's going to make it tonight. He's must be fighting traffic or something. All those holiday shoppers out there. 26 men and women who died and came back to life share exactly what they saw on the other side. All right, so number one, who just touched my shoulder? My mom's root canal got infected and she died for 5 minutes. Oh my God, a root canal? She said she saw a river or a darkness like a river. On the other side, there was just others. She didn't describe what they looked like, but she knew it was others like her somehow. Then from behind, someone touched her shoulder and said, "It's not time yet." Then she woke up and would not stop asking who just touched her shoulder. The doctors were all confused and kept saying, "No one touched your shoulder. You were just dead." Wow. That's interesting because she had seemed to have a vision more like, I guess, what you would attribute to, the old traditional Hades and the river Styx and, that whole visage, the river that you have to cross to go to the next world, whether it's the Elysian fields or where. But that symbology is pretty unique. I don't know that what these people. Here's what I will say about this. I think that perhaps what people see, because there is a spectrum of experiences people see. Not everybody sees the same thing. Like, this is one of the few that I've read where somebody's come upon a river that looked like a darkness or flowing darkness, and it maybe was a river, maybe it wasn't. But usually people talk about the tunnel of light emerging into a great garden or meadow or field and being surrounded by loved ones and light and warmth and happiness. And it's this incredible robust. Some people find themselves in a castle. Some people find themselves. And I think that's those kind of things, the semantics of it aren't as important because I think it can look however it needs to look, to make the person the most comfortable. But it is an intelligent thing. It's not just a random, it does seem to have meaning in itself. But so rather than get stuck on, well, this person came up to the, a river and wasn't supposed to cross to join the dead yet. But it's the symbologies I think are part of it, but more importantly, that she was told it wasn't her time yet, and boom, she was back. So there was an intelligence in this. Very powerful. Number 2, in a dark place. A man came and spoke to one of my classes this semester about his near-death experience, and it gave me great comfort, so I wanted to share it here. He was kayaking with a friend and ended up flipping his and being stuck under the current. He was sucked into a pipe and underwater and struggled to get out. Almost made it, and he was sucked back in. He passed out, and his friend saw his lifeless body being tossed down the river. And this is how he describes his experience in the moments he was unconscious. He was in a dark place, almost like a cave, only the walls were soft and velvety. At the end of this cave was a beautiful kaleidoscope of colors. Well, he made it sound similar to a stained glass window, and on the other side of this colored glass, dark figures were passing by. And he said that all sense of time was lost, and it felt like his wife and kids would come join him at any minute. He said it was the most comforting and peaceful feeling he's ever experienced. He said that he had a strong sense that God wanted him and everyone there so badly, and that you must have to do something pretty terrible to go to hell because he wasn't the greatest of guys before this. His friend was able to catch his body and revive him, and he said he now he feels a stronger connection with everyone and is grateful to have had this experience. Hope this was calming to some of you like it was to me. Some of the posts on here are pretty scary. That was by Harry and Lana. The first one was by Saigon Nosebiter. Huh. Sounds weird. So that's kind of interesting. Huh. I guess, yeah, time would be irrelevant, right? Because if there isn't really time, if it's just a construct of us managing or understanding change, then in that state it wouldn't be needed. So 5 minutes or 5 millennia would be the same kind of space, I imagine. All right, number 3, a tree in shadow. That doesn't sound so good. Not me, but a friend of mine overdosed one day and while doing some stuff with his friend, the friend hadn't done anything, so he wasn't imagining all of the signs of death on this guy. No pulse, cold skin, blue lips. My friend told me that those few minutes he was considered dead, he saw nothing but white. Everything around him was bright white, and in the distance was a dark, shadowed tree. He then saw a woman, also dark and shadowed, so he wasn't able to see her face, but her presence made him happy. She held out her hand to him, and for a while he debated whether or not he should go with her. He decided not to go, and she simply walked away. Then he woke up again. Before that event, he defined himself as Catholic, but he was never really religious. Afterwards, he turned his life around and started devoting himself to helping others. And that was by Parties with Gatsby. That's really cool. Wow. I love the transformative nature of some of these experiences too, because it does. I mean, when you can just know that things will be okay, and no matter what life brings you, that's the experience you're going to have. It's going to be like, yeah, you could probably live your life a lot more peaceful and loving and happy, and not worry about the little stuff. But some people are absolutely transformed. Like a lot of people after near-death experiences apparently experience a real spike in their psychic ability or awareness. And some people turn their lives around because they decide they didn't like what they saw and they want to have a better run at eternity, which is always good. But I think that's very powerful. All right, number 4, bleeding out is the next one. What's this by? Oh yeah, it was Parties with Gatsby. Yeah. Number 4, bleeding out. I was stabbed in the stomach with a fillet knife by my schizophrenic uncle when I was 15 years old. Oh God, that's so dangerous. Oh, a lot of people think, oh, the stomach is fine, but there's a huge artery that runs right down your stomach. And if you pierce it, it'll kill you as quicker than your femoral or your other arteries. Yeah. I remember freaking out, lying on the floor, hyperventilating while I was bleeding out, and I had tried to crawl up from my basement to phone 911, but I was so weak, and every time I moved, I started bleeding harder. I remember passing out and having the sensation like I was leaving a dark room and moving outside into the sun. I stopped panicking, and this feeling of pure contentment settled over me. I was floating over a garden when all of the plants were giving off light, and I could see a huge, amorphous shape above me. This was made up of every color in existence, including colors I've never seen before and couldn't possibly describe. The shape seemed familiar, like I was a part of it, and it was beckoning me and filling me with pure ecstasy and understanding as I looked at it. Then a man who looked an awful lot like Dream from the Sandman comics, which I was obsessed with at the time, walked over to me through the garden and told me that I couldn't go home yet, that it wasn't time. I started weeping, but I was filled with a feeling of understanding, like I know that I had to go back despite not wanting to. The man had tears streaming down his face, and he took my hand and led me back to my body, which was in an ambulance. My older brother had found me and called 911. 4 years later, I experienced a kind of weak flashback / replay of the feeling I had while looking at the giant shape in the sky while I was on psilocybin mushrooms. And I felt like I was intimately connected to every aspect of the universe, and that all things that could be known were understood intuitively in that state, like an encompassing answer to some divine question, but I couldn't put it into words or symbols of any sort. It was all so obvious. In that moment, I felt omniscient and omnipresent, but it was a shadow of the feeling I had during my near-death experience. I didn't have any religion in my upbringing, and I've never been inclined to believe in any sort of organized spirituality. But those two experiences were so vivid and otherworldly that they have convinced me that there are dimensions to existence that are beyond our current ability to grasp in a tangible scientific way. It felt like I'd pressed my face up against some sort of veil and looked through a pinhole at something beyond imagining. People have told me that it was all just the simple product of brain chemistry, and there's nothing spooky about my experience, but I honestly have trouble taking them seriously because none of them have actually experienced anything like it. I challenge anyone to have an experience like this and not come away highly skeptical about our current scientific worldview. There seems to be this undercurrent of feeling among some that we are rapidly approaching a comprehensive and objective view of reality, that science is in its twilight years and we're just tying up some loose ends. But my experience has led me to believe that the cosmos is much more mysterious than anyone but the most original thinkers are given it credit for. That was by Visif, I guess. Wow. Crazy. Huh. I wonder if it didn't work. Let me try something here quick. I gotta look at something just to see. Let's see if we can call again. Maybe it went too long and he couldn't join. We'll try again just to see if Mr. Sheldon is there. Nope, not available. Must have ran late. Hope he's okay. Number 5, an open field lined by trees. All right, here we go. I saw a field with trees on both sides. I could see water. I felt like there was an ocean on one side of the path. If you can imagine the fields that electrical lines go through, then where there's no residents, they just clear the area for the power lines. It was like that. There was a tree in the middle of a well-worn path around it. And I was walking the path. It looked like an oak tree. It was very large and presence and presence and maybe a presence. Okay. There's just no other word there. So it just says, and presence came to walk with me. I told it that I was ill and this seemed like a nice place. And the entity, I'm not religious, so I don't know what it was, told me that I was not done and that I should return, that I would be happy one day. It was so peaceful and beautiful, but the forest seemed dark and scary. The trees on both sides seemed a place that I didn't want to go. I only wanted to go towards the water. And then I saw a bright light and I woke up in the ICU. And I hope this doesn't turn into some kind of religious debate or some kind of medical versus spirituality thing. This was just my experience. Take it as that. That was by Ursa Lee Minor. Okay. Number 6, it's my last time on Earth. Wow. Hindus believe in afterlife or rebirth, to be exact. Strangely, no one has mentioned that here, and I'm not a practicing Hindu, so I never really thought deeply into such matters until I met a very kind lady, father's friend's wife, when I was 14 years old. She had the ability to see into the future, and I'm not kidding you guys when I say that whatever she's told me has happened so far to the T. She just held my hand and basically saw my future. And this is the part I don't want to accept, since this would mean our fate has been set in stone or something to that extent. I'm 28 now, and I'll never forget the sensation that I got from her, that warm, vibrational energy that she radiated. I also asked her why she's able to see into people's future or something along those lines. I was such a cynic because there are tons of astrologers out there promising you lies. And she said, it's my last time here on Earth. This would explain it, I suppose. The soul, called Atman, leaves the body and reincarnates itself according to the deeds or karma performed by one in the last birth. A person stays with the God or ultimate power until he discharges only yanya karma, means work done for satisfaction of the Supreme Lord only. In the last birth, and the same is called moksha or nirvana, which is the ultimate goal of a self-realized soul. So I do believe there's something more. We just don't know what. But I do know that death is the only certainty in life, and that's morbidly comforting to me. That was by booze_light_beer. Booze light beer. Yeah. Very cool. You want a shirt? Well, you guys just want me for my shirts? I need Sheldon here to help me. That's why I'm hoping he'll show up, because he can help me pull that list together and create it. It's not something I can do very well on the fly. I could try, but I'd much rather have him do that part of it. So let's hope he shows up. I guess I could see what's going on. Death is a way to cleanse people of hatred and baggage. Yeah, maybe. Hope so. I hope it's a cleansing thing. I mean, I don't know. I've met people that I've had a hard time believing there isn't some good in them, but it's not always really easy to find. Like, there's some really, really shattered souls out there. So, but I hope death cleanses that. I would hate to think that was the state of their soul forever. My God. Wow, it just comes up in spurts. Is the chat working good for you guys, or is it kind of coming up in spurts for you guys? I got the group chat, so it's got both Twitch and YouTube, but it just kind of comes up in burp, burp, and so it just changes. That's saying I believe we're incarnate. Yeah, we are. All right, I'm just looking. Actually, I'm going to grab one. Why not? Put on my jammies. Nice, Lane. You're doing it right. Grab yourself a warm hug and a warm mug. Make some cocoa. Kick back and listen to the portal. Or a hot toddy or something. Why don't monsters eat ghosts? Because they taste... I can't read that. Can't read that, Dan. Oh, they taste like sheet. SHEET. Thank you. That's hilarious. It's actually a cute joke, but it just sounds... If you don't listen carefully, it sounds like I'm about to get demonetized. No, I'm just kidding. There's no problem with cussing on the shows on YouTube and a lot of channels cuss like crazy, but I try to keep it kind of clean because I know we have a range of listeners out there. So I don't want to make it so people can't listen together with younger interested people. Cheers. Cheers to you all. In good health, hopefully. In good health. All right, how we doing? 8:08. Yeah, we still got time for some more. Let's go to number 7 here, drifting into the light. Drifting into the light. My sister was shot while she was walking her dogs in our small town in Alaska. The bullet ricocheted around, piercing her bowel in 9 places. Oh, that poor woman. Even though we had one of the best Rhodes Scholar docs in the north at our ER, and the only flight out of town was miraculously minutes away from takeoff and held up to fly her to Anchorage, she bled out and died on the operating table. She knows because she vividly remembers everything the surgeon said as she lay dead on the table. What she told me later is remarkable. She recalls drifting up and into a very bright light. She was no longer in pain and felt compelled to travel into the brilliance. It led to an amazing river. There's another river reference. Interesting. Seriously, the look on her face when she described this place helps me to realize that radiant, endless joy is not just a possibility, but an eventuality. She describes playing in a river that consisted of pure knowledge. Anything she ever wanted to know was at her fingertips. As she played in this amazing river, she could sense figures on the distant shore, and they were our people, she explained, our family, our animals, all waiting patiently for her to finish playing in the river and wade towards them on the shore. Though she was not ready to leave the marvelous river, she knew without being told that they would wait patiently and joyfully. But she never made it to the shore. As she was playing, an amazing thing happened. Seriously, people, if you could just see the look on her face when she describes this next part, you would laugh for pure joy. A being approached her. She didn't know what it was, except to describe it as pure, unconditional, jubilant love. It radiated love. It pulsed love, and all things diminished before the radiance of that love. The next part makes me chuckle a bit, even though that seems out of place. She said it spoke to her, and it said she had to go back, and that it wasn't her time. She said like a little kid, but I don't want to. And when she recounts this experience, she emphasizes that to be in proximity of that being is all there is. She describes it as a completion, a peace, a welcoming. To leave was incomprehensible, but to decline was also incomprehensible. She felt infused with a purpose, very, very, very reluctant. She returned to life. She is amazing. They patched her femoral artery and explained to her the graft would eventually give. In all probability, she will die within minutes. Living with that sword of Damocles should be terrifying. No, to her, it's a promise that she'll get to return. Life is what we are here to do, she explains, but after, sweet, benevolent, all-encompassing love. With every single breath, my sister is heartbeats away from death. And I have never met anyone who is more alive and fearless. That's beautiful. Yeah, a lot of people come back with meeting the deities. Some people recount meeting Christ and having that same radiant love and warmth and incredible light. Some people see other figures of some. There was a taxi cab driver who I think was, God, what was his? It wouldn't be who you would think. I think he was Islam, but he actually had a vision of it wasn't Jesus though. Maybe it wasn't even Islam. It was some other religion like Zoroastrian or something. But he had a vision of Moses, of meeting Moses, because he kind of secretly was interested in I guess another facet of religion, and so he met Moses or some assimilation or a facsimile of Moses. So I think again, maybe the identity part isn't important. They're meeting some iteration of the divine love that is the divine, I guess. I don't know how to say that better, but very interesting. That overwhelming love feeling is quite common in NDEs. Yeah, it is. You're right, Alfred. Yeah. And that's the exciting part, I think. Because, I mean, I love my life. I really do. I love my family and my friends, and I love all of you guys. I love doing this, but whatever this love they describe is, I can't wait to someday feel it. I can't wait to be in that radiance, and because I guess in some ways being alive feels hard sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of times, but not in a bad way. It's just, this is a place of, I think, of learning and growth and stuff. And that's the reward. So it is pretty incredible. Yep. I came back knowing all the smoke and mirrors and keeping up with the Jones stuff is pointless. Yeah, good for you. Yeah. Just cast away those illusions of our society and stuff and just focus on what's important. Yeah. I think that's cool. Very cool, Maggie. Number 8, seeing Nana. When I was 8, I learned how to fix small engines. That being said, my dad had an old flathead Briggs & Stratton 5 horsepower engine. It didn't work, and he also had a riding lawnmower that had no engine or blades. He gave me the task of getting the engine running, and I could put it on the riding lawnmower and have fun whenever. Ooh, was so anxious at school the next day. Well, that day, I tore apart the motor and had it running by bedtime. The next day, we had the thing mounted and riding around. Flash forward a few weeks, and me and my older sister were out riding when my shoelace got caught in the back spindle, and it pulled me off and was dragging you. Mind you, only going as fast as it would go. My sister stopped and went in reverse, which caused her to go onto me. The chain and chain wheel caught my lower right back, ripping my skin open. Oh, God. And pulling my large and small intestine out, severing my right lung, breaking my spine in 2 places, and shredding my right kidney. I felt the thing roll into me, and everything went blank. Couldn't see, move, speak, or anything. But no pain as well. All I remember was the blackness. Oof, that poor guy. Oh. After my father got my heart beating again, I remember laying there in pain, and also remember feeling my back and short of breath, and I felt what I still believe as my stomach in my hand while I was feeling my back. Once I was in the ambulance, everything went blank, except this time I saw myself laying there as the medics shocking me. I felt a hard pull, and I was back in myself. A few minutes later, I was on the table with strangers in white all around me. I remember them in a panic, then standing next to my grandmother, who passed when I was 3. She told me she was my Nana, and we were there watching them jolt my heart with tiny round paddles, and she kept telling me it was okay. They called my death time at 6:06 p.m., and then all of a sudden I wake up, and I'm all fixed and stapled up. My parents told me I had died 3 times. For the first for 5 minutes. The second was a little more than 12, but The last time was astonishing to the doctors. My heart stopped beating for 20 minutes. My parents made them continue jolting my heart. They told me the doctor kept telling them that I was going to have a 98% chance of being brain dead. I'm 25 years old and I'm healthy as ever. I'm fully capable and walking as well. Wow. That's by J. Poke Smot 420. Or it says I Poke Smot. I know what you're saying there. You and your clever name. That's an incredible story, though. That person was absolutely decimated. And being unbreathing for 20 minutes, well, from everything we understand, that's supposed to be like the deal breaker. Like our brains can't survive without oxygen. You do get irreparable damage, but apparently not. Apparently, everything is negotiable, for lack of a better term. Like, apparently other things can happen. That's a miracle, though, as well. I mean, this is more than just an NDE on that one. That's a miracle, because by all intents and purposes, that person probably shouldn't have left the dirt. It should have been the end of the game there. God has a great retirement plan. Yeah, definitely, Dan. Absolutely. Very cool. I like that story. I think we'll read maybe 9 and 10 and then see if Sheldon's here yet. All right. Number 9 is a kick out of his body. I was in an ambulance carrying me from the hospital in a small provincial town towards the big hospital at the capital. I had bad pneumonia, which was not responding well to weak, old, and not very effective oral antibiotics doctors were giving me. In the ambulance, I was choking and unable to breathe from what was later found to be 750 grams of fluids accumulated in my lungs. Yeah, you were drowning in your own mucus. Whoa. The ambulance was jolting, and I was short of breath. The next thing I remember was I felt a severe blow that kicked me out of my body. I later read stories by other people in similar near-death situations who reported seeing a tunnel and a light, but this is not what I experienced. It was just a blow, a kick. A kick which threw me out of my body. I was looking at my body from the side and also seeing a medical sister, which was trying to put a breathing mask on my face. I guess it was maybe a hospital, a Catholic hospital. At first, I thought that something happened with my vision, and I panicked, and I was seeing everything in 2D, like on a movie screen, and also nearly black and white. It was not completely black and white. It was like the colors were very, very darkened, as if everything was shades of gray with very little color on it. I know that this seems strange. I mean, I looked at my body from the side, and yet I panicked for my eyes and vision. But that was what I thought then. I was 14 years old at the time and in a state of panic. And I guess my logic was weak and weird at this moment. I severely panicked for my eyes and vision. And that was a moment when I thought of my mom. And in an instant, I was looking at her. She was traveling together with my father and uncle in a car following the ambulance on a road to the capital. It was my uncle's car. I started talking to my mom, telling her that my eyes are not okay. Something happened to my eyes and I can't see well. But she didn't hear me. They continued to talk, cursing and lambasting the incompetent doctors at the provincial hospital, discussing how those doctors tried to coax them to sign some papers after the ambulance left, how they refused to sign, and how they arranged for me to be admitted in the department led by an experienced and very competent doctor with a strange name like Associated Professor, I don't know, Kuinderlev or something. And this was a unique name, which I remembered. At that point, the gravity of the situation hit me. I finally realized that something weird happened and that I shall not be in this car, and I panicked even more. I began to think of my friends at school and of the girl that I liked, and as soon as I thought of someone was really sharp enough in my mind, I don't know how to explain this in writing, but as soon as the thought about someone was sharp, I instantly saw them, as if I was standing next to that person in this very moment. Then the panic hit me even harder. I started jumping from place to place to place, from memory to memory in an ever-increasing pace, and everything became a kaleidoscope of people and places. This jumping from place to place abruptly stopped when an old lady came. She was very old, with white hair, white like completely snow white, not white like gray shadows or of other colors I was seeing. She took me by the hand and insisted that I looked at her and repeated several times that I should calm down my mind so that this random jumping from place to place stops. I realized that she was somehow helping me to remain calm and to only look at her and then to set at rest and be quiet. Then she proceeded to explain that now I'm going to fall asleep, and when I wake up, I'll be at the hospital. She told me that the doctors will start giving me injections, and that some of them will be painful, but I should be brave like a man and endure the pain, and that my condition is going to improve. But after 2 months, doctors will propose a surgery. She insisted several times that immediately when I wake up, I must tell my mother to refuse to sign papers for the surgery, to refuse to let them do the surgery. She told me that if they do the surgery, I am going to die, and insisted again several times that I should explain this to my mom as soon as I wake up. She also told me that if I am a good boy and do as she told me to do, my uncle's going to bring me a lot of delicious chocolates in the hospital. So long story short, I woke up at the ER, told everything to my mom. She was shocked by my detailed description of what they talked about in the car. I distinctly remember her eyes grew wide when I told her the strange name of the doctor, and she listened to my frenetical demands from her to refuse to sign the papers for the surgery. She was not understanding what I'm talking about, and as at this moment, no one was talking about any surgery. My mom told me that everything was going to be okay, and there's not going to be any surgery, and generally tried to calm me down. I slept a lot in the hospital, was very weak. Doctors drew the fluids from my lungs, using long and thick needles inserted through my back. Ugh. It was indeed very painful. Christmas came and passed, and they gave me strong antibiotic injections. I recovered. 45 days later, they saw on the x-rays one particular spot on my left lung, which was refusing to heal. 2 months later, it was still there, same size, and on the next x-ray again, they proposed a surgery to remove this spot. My mom resisted to them initially, but eventually as time passed, there were many doctors insisting that surgery must be done, and my mom finally gave in to their pressure and signed the papers. But this delayed the surgery for many weeks, and when they did a final x-ray before surgery to see how big the spot was, it was gone, and the pre-planned surgery was canceled. They all, my mom and the doctors, lied to me. My mom was telling me that there is not going to be a surgery, that they were actually secretly preparing to do it. I only later found out that this is what really happened. My mom also told me how she watched, not believing her own eyes, how my extremely stingy uncle was bringing me chocolate after chocolate at the hospital. This happened in a then socialist country, Bulgaria. My uncle was working as a driver of a big truck for an international transportation, and that was where he bought the chocolates. On our country local markets, these chocolates were extremely expensive and nowhere to be found, and my uncle was, and is to some extent to this day, a very stingy bastard. My mom told me that above all, this particular piece of my story convinced her to refuse signing the surgery papers for so long, despite the intense pressure from the doctors. I have a lot of other weird memories from these events, but I decided not to share them as I'm not sure how reliable my memories are. I'm only talking about memories I was able to successfully verify with my relatives. Years later, I made my mom and father and uncle tell what they remembered, and I recorded their words on tape, and I drew the line around what I considered to be the reliable part of the story and what may be distortions of my memory from the time past. I'm not religious. My relatives are also atheists. Neither I nor any of my relatives became religious after this event. And it was by Corruptionism is the one who shared that story. So pretty cool. I love those stories. I think they're very powerful. These are moments people are having incredible, I don't know what you say. They're having incredible experiences in ways that shouldn't be happening according to traditional science. I'm just going to see if I can message Mr. Sheldon or if he's messaged. Oh, yeah, there he is. Okay. All right. Sheldon said he'll be here as soon as possible. So hopefully he'll be here as soon as possible. Because we need him. We need him here to do that drawing. They wrap me in foil like a Christmas turkey. When your heart rate goes up really high. I was walking in a cold temperature very easy. Suddenly I thought my heart was going to explode. I don't know if it's hypothermia. It might be hyperthermia that makes your blood pump higher. Hypothermia, I think, is everything kind of slowing down. But maybe I'm wrong. I think it's hyperthermia. When you're overheating, your body's trying to cool down aggressively with sweat and racing blood. But I could be wrong. Could be absolutely wrong. Let me see if I can get Sheldon on the horn here. We'll try again. Maybe he's there. Just maybe. It's maybe dialing him. Nope, not yet. Well, he'll be here shortly, I hope. Hopefully shortly. Let me drop him a quick message because I do want him to know that I do need him. Just a sec. Cool. 'Cause I want to draw a shirt winner. Want to draw a shirt winner. So, I mean, we're at about the last half hour. Hopefully he pops in here pretty soon. We're going to run out of time. Again, you got to be here to win the shirt. So if you're not here, we're just going to go from the members that are actually here. And if you've already won a shirt, please let somebody else win. Don't enter again. I'd get you all shirts if I could. I really would. That to me would be really cool. And maybe someday, but that day's not today. Just a simple man here, folks. Just getting by like all of you. So, but I do like giving away shirts when we can because I think it's great to say thank you. What was I doing? I was looking for something. No, maybe I just closed the thing I was looking for. Wow, I'm a. All right. Let me know though if I'm wrong about the hypothermia. There's hypothermia, hyperthermia, and I think it's hyperthermia. Your heart races because your body's trying desperately to cool yourself down, so it's trying to push blood through, and maybe it's both. I mean, it could be both for all I know. I'm certainly not a medical practitioner of any kind. I'll take a hoodie. I can't afford you, RJ. I can't afford you. Sell cloaks. You know, as cheesy as it sounds, I've always wanted a cloak. Do I ever think I'd actually wear one? No, but I always just wanted one. Because I love things like that. I love that whole, the whole cloak and dagger thing, I guess. I just think it's kind of a, I don't know why. I honestly don't know why, but I just think it's always looked cool to me. The whole shadowy cloaked figure. I don't know. Be great on the, mage cloak. There you go. Peyton, you got it, brother. I'd love to have that old deep hood and stuff. Absolutely. But I think having a cloak would be absolutely fantastic. I think it would. That's why I have two dusters. I don't know if you're talking about the same thing. Oh, you have dusters. Oh, yeah, like the Western jackets. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, those are cool, Batman. How do I enter or win a shirt? You have to be a member. Actually, I'm gonna help 5 lucky audience members right now, as a matter of fact. So let's see. I gotta go to youtube.com Paranormal Portal. I gotta call up this very stream, as a matter of fact. That is live. Yes, that's now. I'm gonna get an echo here for a second. Oh dear God, I don't want to watch ads on my own channel. Come on. All right. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna spread some love here. This is a tradition that I always do on these drawing nights because I want to give you guys, give everybody a chance, including 5. Where is it? Membership gifting. There we go. 5 lucky gifted memberships that I'm going to give out now. Okay, bye. Here we go. 5 of you out there are now going to potentially qualify for a gifted membership. All right, and one of them is Artemis. Next one is Jordan Cockburn, Wizard Moon, Cat's Pajamas, Smoking Joe. Yeah, Karen, you've always been gifted. Bill was gifted a membership. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, congratulations to those 5 of you who got gifted memberships. And that's another way to say thank you to those of you that aren't already members. Give away the gifted ones, as much as I can. Again, I'd love to do more. I'd love to, pile heaps of Santa love on all of you guys. But can't afford heaps of Santa love, so you get gifted memberships. But that will now qualify those 5 of you. However, if you didn't get one of those memberships and you want to qualify for a t-shirt and you don't mind supporting the show, simply click below the chat and become a member of the channel. It also not only entitles you to win a potential t-shirt, but it does qualify you to take part in extra membership streams. Members, I do a private stream for on Thursday nights here on the channel. So if you want to do that, that's absolutely fantastic. So, all right. Mage cloak. I like that. I like that, Peyton. Now you got me thinking. All right. So let's see. Did Sheldon say anything? Dear God. Oh, the poor boy. I wish he would communicate. Not sure what the hell's going on. Not sure, but I mean, I can try to do this, I guess. I just can't see the members like this. If did you see it? It was gifted a membership by Batman. Thank you, Batman. Thank you, brother. I can't see those. So if anybody else gifted memberships, I appreciate that. I can't see them. Oh, Erev gifted 5. Thank you, Erev. Thank you. Well, there's going to be a more robust pool to draw from here. A much more robust pool. Did I miss anything else? Okay, there's one I gave. Yeah, so I gifted 5. Erev gifted 5. Thank you. That's so cool. Thank you. And Batman gifted 1. Very cool. Excellent. Thank you, guys. That's really cool. So we got some, actually 11 memberships were gifted. David Zeismer. Woo! Thank you. Became a member. All right. Pulls you into the pulls you into the member circle. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Oh my God! Look at all these memberships. The
I know.
season's greetings.
Well, there you are. Glad you can make it, brother. Thank you. I said buddy
know.
and brother at the same time, and it came up bruddy. Came up bruddy. Glad you can make it, bruddy.
Oh man!
Want
What
to
a
give
day.
away a T-shirt tonight, Sheldon. So as you see those member names, can you build one of your wheels and the spinny wheels?
It's time to play. Spin the wheel of shirt.
Spin the shirt wheel. That's right. We're going to churn out a T-shirt winner here on the show. And I guess in the meantime, while you do that, Sheldon, I'll just keep reading stuff, right?
Absolutely. I'll be here doing my thing.
All right. Well, I'll be here doing something. And
Okay.
let's see. What do I got? I got a few articles to pick from here. So, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, if you guys want to get in and you're a member, feel free to chat.
Yeah, you got to chat though, so Sheldon can see you. If you're a member, please type something. Otherwise, scroll up, Sheldon, because 11. I gifted 5 to the chat community. Erev gifted 5, and Batman gifted 1. And I think under those you can see who won those. So they are here.
Okay,
So
I will add them to the list.
Cool. All right. Thank you so much. That's a sighting. Maybe you want to save that one too. Let's see. What is this one? I'm just going through my list of phantoms and monsters here. Oh, here's one. And now this isn't really, is it a cryptid? Is it not? I don't know. I don't know what black-eyed kids are. I suspect they're probably something more spiritual, transdimensional, something. They might just be absolutely spiritual. There's not any solid indication that I can see that they may not just be manifesting spiritually. But whatever they are, they're absolutely terrifying. And the people that have experienced them apparently just you'll never forget it. And I think it's a creepy phenomenon. I don't know that it's all above board, or if some of the reports of these are probably some creative writing, but some of them I think could be real. And whatever they are, terrifying. So first, to start out with, as Sheldon builds that, I'm going to read you this article from phantomsandmonsters.com. And this is Lon Strickler's site, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the phantomsandmonsters.com. And this is a great site for encounter stories, people encountering stuff. Now, the thing I love about this, let me just put this out right on the front end, is I know Lon vets these stories to some degree. At least a lot of them he vets personally. So if you're reading it on there, chances are it's at least been checked into. It's not just a blind posting of a story. And so take that as, for what you will, but at least Lon puts some legwork into that and is able to validate or invalidate the fact that some of these things may have happened. So I'll put it on this screen, I guess. That way you can see Sheldon and I and the article itself. So check out phantomsandmonsters.com, not only for the stories, but for Lon's published works, all these amazing articles like this one, and links to his podcast, which is Phantoms and Monsters Radio. You can check out his YouTube channel as well, which is YouTube/Phantoms and Monsters Radio. All right, so this is an account of the Black-Eyed Kids, folks. The following strange account was forwarded by cryptid/paranormal UFO investigator, researcher, and colleague Dennis Carroll, who's been a guest on his podcast. Mr. Carroll, my friend recently saw you on television, and she suggested I get in touch with you about my experience. I replied to the email, and this is Mr. Carroll typing, I think. I replied to the email and set up meetings with this lady in a diner a few miles from town. She was very adamant about not meeting anywhere in the downtown area. Here, in her own words, is her very strange story. I'd met with a couple of my girlfriends for a quick late dinner at a restaurant facing Main Street downtown. I'd parked about 3 blocks further away down Main Street, and as this was the only parking place available at that time of the day. We chatted a while after dinner, and then we parted ways. I was alone on the walk back to my car, but there was it was the usual amount of people running around. I thought it said unusual, but it was usual. And it was almost twilight, but still very light, and it was very humid and hot. Inhale, exhale. As I walked along, I began to get uneasy, feeling that someone was staring at me. I glanced back over my shoulder and noticed this 14 or 15-year-old kid in dirty clothes and equally soiled hoodie. He was a very pale-looking boy, and he was following very close behind me. I began to experience a strange and nagging fear. All my life I've been something of a tomboy and felt that I have and could handle myself in many situations. But what I felt that day went right to my core. As I walked along, I had to wonder why someone, even a kid, would be wearing a hoodie on a 99 plus temperature day. I looked at him again and our eyes locked. The shock was like a bucket of cold water being thrown on me. His eyes were completely, eerily, emptily, I guess not empty, it just says empty, not emptily, and black. I'm just inventing words here. No white at all was showing. At this point, I was almost in a panic. I hate to say it, but I was ready to run. Just then, I got even with another restaurant and ducked quickly inside. I nervously stood by the window and waited and watched to see him pass. But he never did. A few moments later, after feeling a little better, being in the company of others in the city or in the cafe, I went back outside, and when I couldn't see this kid anymore, I almost ran the rest of the way to my car. This happened on a Friday. The nagging fear stayed with me for the rest of that weekend. I was very nervous, which isn't like me at all. I'm usually a well-grounded and outgoing person, but for the next 2 days, I cut myself off from almost everyone. All I wanted to do was stay behind locked doors until that fear went away. I jumped at every sound, and I'm glad no one knocked on my door that weekend. I probably would have freaked out. I routinely checked my windows and locked the doors and didn't really get any sleep at all. And when I did, I had nightmares of seeing those eyes. Thankfully, the uneasy feeling had gone away by Monday. After I went back to work a week or so later, I told my friend, the one who saw you on TV, about what happened, and she said it sounded like a black-eyed kid, which until then I'd never heard of. I know what I saw was nothing in the way of makeup of any kind, but most of all the fear that took hold of me was something so unnatural that the thought of it still bothers me, and I know it will be a while yet before I'm able to go back downtown. This witness seemed very practical and very matter-of-fact in what she says she saw. She was very sincere and still seemed to exhibit some of the fear that she had experienced. She was also very assertive of retaining her anonymity, which I assured her would not be a problem, and I also tried to help her in dealing with the aftermath of the experience. What I find very interesting about this sighting is that it wasn't on a foggy night in a creepy part of town, but in daylight on a busy city street. This encounter definitely has the unnatural element of the unexplained written all over it. So that was by Dennis Carroll. And you can reach out to him at denniscarroll.com. Very cool. Very creepy. That is unusual because black-eyed kids stories don't generally happen during the day.
That's peculiar. Yeah, daytime experience. In a way, that almost makes it scarier.
Kind of, yeah, because you always figure there's some protection in the sun. It's like, well, it's light out, I'm safe. Whew, but maybe not.
Yet.
Maybe not.
That makes me think, oh God, like when sun goes down, like then now what's going to happen? That's what I would think.
Yeah, how much worse is it going to be? No. So do you have all the names?
All the names are up and ready.
Did we, how many names? Do you know?
17.
17 names. All right. Well, I just want to say it's my great pleasure to give back something to you guys. A special thank you to everyone that gifted memberships as well and got memberships themselves. That goes a long way to help support the show. It's, every little bit helps. But it's the very least we can do is at least say thank you, give back something. Earlier today, we gave away a t-shirt on Discord. Now we're going to give one away here on the show to one of our YouTube channel members. So, Sheldon, are you feeling ready?
I'm ready if you are, guys.
All right, here we go. I'm going to play the t-shirt giveaway music, which might also be news music, but it's t-shirt giveaway music. And here we go. Give it a roll, Sheldon.
All right, here we go. It is Kirsten Leah.
Kirsten Leah. Woo! Congratulations, Kirsten. You are the proud owner of a new shirt. And to any of our winners, when you win, if you could message me, you can email me at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. Or if you're on the Discord, you can private message me there. Just give me a name and mailing address and your size. I need to know your size because I don't want to. I don't want to guess. I have no idea how big or small you guys are. I have no idea at all. So, yep, that would be great.
Is that Megaphone Man? Is that Nace?
Yeah, Nace. What did he do?
Nace,
Nace.
up with the $20.
Woo, Nace. This holy dazed and confused season, share the giggles, not the ectoplasm. Love universe. Hey, good to see you, Nace. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nace.
That's
Happy
awesome.
holidays.
Happy holidays to all of you guys. There's literally only one show before Christmas left. That's tomorrow night. Wow.
Wow.
What do you think of that, Sheldon? I think you should have to come back tomorrow night because you missed most of tonight.
Except tomorrow I'm going to my family's Christmas.
Family schmamly.
Yeah.
It's also your family. This is also your family, Sheldon. No, that's
True.
okay.
I got 3 families. You're right.
Did you kind of run late?
Yes, I did.
Oh, that's okay. I'm really glad you did make it because I didn't know how I was going to manage to do the giveaway as well as just keep the show rolling. Like everybody
That's
sit
fair.
quietly for 20 minutes while I organize something. Yeah.
Took me 5 minutes. What kind of speed are you running at?
Not that much. I don't think I'd use the term speed. It's just subtle motions mostly. But yeah, I appreciate you doing that, helping me with the giveaway at least tonight because that is fun. We're down to just minutes. My God, we should probably go back to that other article and read one more of those and then call it a show.
Oh, cannabis resolution.
What do you do?
$10.
What? Nace! Nace's making it rain up here in the portal. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Part 1. High miracle. Hopefully you are finding giggles abundantly. Yeah, of course. Always have giggles here in the portal, hopefully. Hey, reached 1,000 messages with Restream. It put it on my... It's I don't know. It's just... The YouTube chat is always flying. I haven't seen much going on in Twitch yet, but maybe someday people will notice we're there. And
They'll see us eventually.
we'll be there waiting because
That's right.
we're happy to entertain people. We have to stop procrastinating now. Much love, Brent Sheldon. I'll take care. Thank you, Maggie. Love you bunches and have a great night or day. I guess it's your day. We'll see you later. Yep. Very cool. Let me read this one and then we'll see where we're at with time. Number 10, going back to the Thought Catalog article dealing with near-death experiences. I think this one's kind of long, though. It is kind of long.
Maybe 11.
Yeah, but I got to remember to go back and read 10 then. Yeah, I'll read 11. 11, she could stay or go. My mom had one. She was in surgery for a cesarean for my youngest sis in 1986. We were in Italy and not citizens, so she chose not to have the elective sonogram to determine sex. So she was put under for C-section, apparently a little too far under. She woke up to them performing CPR chest compressions. While out of it, she said she was in a calm and peaceful place and didn't hear a voice, but just a feeling that she could stay or go. She said she spoke and said that she couldn't go because she had 3 girls to raise. She didn't know she had had a third daughter at that point. Well, she said she had 3, and then she had a third daughter at that point. She's okay now, 23 years later, but that birth was really rough on her and left her bewildered about that experience. When she told her father about it, he too had a similar experience during a heart attack. That was by Zana Vanavovich. Okay. I think I did good on that name. Zana Vanavovich.
I like that name. It flows very well.
It does. It's, well, kind of. It's fallen all over my face, but
Zana Vanavovich.
Zana Vanavovich.
Vanavovich.
Something like that. But
Yeah.
wow. I guess we made it through a night. Yeah, I mean, there's literally just a few minutes left. And I'm trying to think, is there something I wanted to do an announcement about?
Is there?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't think I'm missing anything, but I think I'm missing something, and I don't remember what it is. So all I can tell you is that if you're new to the show, if you're just starting to follow what's going on here on the Paranormal Portal, watch paranormalportal.net. That posts, that's kind of the central hub for everything. All of the social media, the Discord, the shows, both the podcast audio podcast shows, as well as the YouTube streams are all linked through there. So you can always go to Discord, or not to, you can go to paranormalportal.net and use that as a central launching point for any news information. However, I would encourage you to catch up with us on social media, the Paranormal Portal Radio or Brent Thomas Facebook pages, because any last minute cancellations and stuff, I will post on there. But we'd love to have you guys join the Discord. Sheldon, can you help them with that?
Yes. There'll be a link provided, and we can just use this link for now since I'm a little unprepared. But this link will send you right to the Discord where all the great discussions lay. Everyone is talking on all these different categories and all these different discussions. Feel free to join us and join the community in general. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Batman. Oh my
Wow,
God,
Batman buying shirts too. That's very nice, brother. Thank you so much. That's beautiful. This t-shirt giveaway on YouTube is now sponsored by Batman. Thank you, Batman. Appreciate that, brother. So, but yeah, if you want a shirt, message me either through Discord or through email. Get it, or Facebook. I don't care. Just message me somewhere where it's private, and just know that every information you share with me will be strictly confidential. I just want to get you a shirt because you won. If you're a winner,
I won't even know.
No, nobody knows except me.
Nobody will know.
So we'll get it all set up and mailed out in the near future. I'm not always incredibly, industrious with getting these things out right away, but I will send them out, I promise, and I will notify you once they're mailed with a expected delivery date, so you can watch for it. I don't know, a lot of people are losing packages, so I always let people know, look, it should be here about this day. So anyway, that's all I got. Sheldon, you got anything else?
Nothing from here except happy holidays to you all. Love you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you all for the love, kindness, support, and please keep spreading the word about the Paranormal Portal. I want to see this keep growing. So I guess that's it for tonight. We'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and love to have you come hang out with me. That's it for us. So remember, we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice, take care of each other, help each other out, find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. Good night, everybody. Thought you were going to say something there, Sheldon.